Shalom, family. Glory be to God and blessed be the Lamb. Rules-based order. Rule-based order. It's what the majority of the nation states of Western culture wants to bring into being. And I would take it that they want to bring this into being using the power or maintaining the exact same power that they have always maintained within that patriarchal framework that they refer to as the United Nations Security Council, which has just shown itself to be completely impotent in the stopping of genocide and ethnic cleansing at the hands of the very ones who want to bring about a rule-based order. So let me ask a question of those who internationally, meaning the West, as a policy, United States, Germany, Britain, France, a couple others, Italy, Spain maybe, rule-based order. Now, would they be bringing the patriarchal power that they have from the United Nations in the form of veto power over the whole world, billions of people? Will they be maintaining that power in the new rule-based order that I'm sure that they will want to be the ones who write the policy, promulgate the rules on the policy, and to choose in what order every race and every country falls into, as long as it pleases them. Sort of like they have it in the UN. Now, it all sounds fine and dandy, all the way up until you think, wait a minute, when have we seen any of the world powers respect anything coming out of the United Nations if they could not threaten or to manipulate it? If it doesn't advantage them, then you may as not have them there. Okay? At least up until now. Whatever the United Nations, meaning the world, has ordained is what will eventually be. Period. Now, back to this rules-based order that they keep wanting to bring into being by the very same people that we have seen bring you war after war after war after damn war at the hands of the Western powers. The total manipulation of the monetary system at the hands of the Western power. I could go on and on really, but I'm not here to besmirch the Western powers. No, I really want to understand, why do you think that you have the right to lead the world anywhere? Considering you do it by force, not by will, and not because the people love you. You do it with force under threat to the rest of the world, largely because you have nuclear weapons, and you don't want anyone else to have the same power you have on the world stage, the geopolitical world stage. So what you do is you make sure that no one else has such weaponry, because how you view the world is such weaponry, and the threat to use it maintains stability. And this stability is built on a structure which usurps power from the people and steals the resources of others. Not to mention, they have to beg you to leave their own countries. Sometimes when you don't want to leave, you just shoot them. You find a reason and then you shoot them. It's sort of like understanding oppression, something that Westerners would never understand because they've never been oppressed except at their own hands. White people have oppressed other white people plenty of times, is what I'm trying to tell you, historically. And they have always had this classism. So they've always engaged in some kind of ism or the other. Largely because it's a social construct, this whiteness in this country. Everywhere else, Germans are from Germany, and they're called Germans. Italians are from Italy, and they're called Italians. The French are from France, and they're called French. You see where I'm going with this? It's only when they immigrate here that they become a part of the social construct. But that's not what we're talking about right now. We are talking about the rules-based order, in which I'm being presumptuous, I think, when I'm saying that it will be the very same people who rule the world who will want to help to write the very rules in which they will be in charge of the new rule-based order, even though they have already shown you that they are incapable of following the even international law in which they are the very signatories to. Now, I don't mean to besmirch them, but it's just time for truth. And we're going to tell the truth all the time, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. And I mean it. These is way past legalities. So, rule-based order. Who will decide what happens to the Palestinians when they bring back this rule-based order? What happens in the Congo? Well, I mean, Europe is so frightened of a strong Russia that they're currently threatening to form their own alliance, presumptively again to go to war against Russia. Nobody really knows why. They are skittish. Maybe they're doing it in a response to the Trump administration's hands-off policy to NATO, so to speak. I keep scratching my head because I'm a history buff and I can't. How did Russia become the enemy of the West? When did that happen? What year? What decade and why? The best that I can come up with is an arms race that happened in the 70s and the 80s and maybe late 60s. I don't know what's wrong with these other people. I don't remember when Russia attacked America, or France, or Britain, or Germany, or Spain, or Poland, all these years. How did Russia become the world enemy? That is weird. Well, part of the reason is every organization have to have a reason to exist. But see, like NATO. Take NATO for example. After World War II, they really didn't have a real reason to exist. They came into being to fight Mother Russia. No, Russia was on their side in those days to face the axis of the powers led by Adolf Hitler. I told you I was a history buff. You ain't gonna lie to me about what actually happened upon this planet. I was there in every way except right there in the flesh watching it. But in every other way, we seen it. So you ain't gonna lie. So Russia becomes the enemy because it won't do what? At latest, the latest war between Russia and Ukraine. How did it all start? We keep one thing about an American citizen. If you do not take care of business with them as soon as they do it, as soon as it's like they didn't really do it. So you have to bring up on an international level how we got there. It started with NATO wanting to put guns and weapons within range of Russian cities, under the guise that these are defensive weapons. Yeah, but they can reach my house. It seems like they're offensive weapons. No, they're defensive weapons. But sir, we've seen you break every international rule, law, bylaw, treaty that you've ever signed. And you want us to believe that you would never harm us with the same weapons that you call defensive today. Do we look stupid? Do they have a trigger? And can you point them? Then all of them are offensive. We're not stupid. So, since you would not back down, while at the same time the Ukrainian people, those racist people, but I can't use certain words, look like it snowed there. Listen, these other people had basically, man, we see this all over the world right now. The world is in a stealing and taking mood. I mean, they just doing it everywhere. They just doing it everywhere. The Ukrainian people, I'm trying to be nice. I'm gonna be nice, I promise. Were very viciously racist against a certain part of Ukraine and its people that still spoke Russian. But they were yet a part of Ukraine, but they spoke Russian. They caught hell. That was reason number 2 why the invasion happened. Let's just put things in perspective. Now, Ukraine would not be bombed to smithereens if they had to lay down their arms when they lost. When you run out of bullets and run out of warm bodies, the war is over. Not so with Ukraine, because Ukraine, like Israel, keeps receiving an abundance an over abundance of support from the Western countries, politically and materially. To this day, these are just simple facts. These are facts. You know, you can get mad at me, and you can even get pissed off and call me a Republican. But at the same time, facts are facts. You don't have to be either or to believe in facts, do you? But facts alter events. But when you have the power to manipulate the facts, as does Western superiority over other countries, then the facts become a little bit more nuanced and fuzzy. But they're still facts. So these people want to now move to a rule-based order. Now, what was it last time? What was it last time? It was New World Order. They all of a sudden stopped talking about New World Order. Good for them. Sort of like the Illuminati learned how to shut the fuck up. See, they understood really fast that they should not be putting themselves out there talking about they are illuminating anything. And they found out the hard way. So there's no more talk of the Illuminati. Ain't that something? You have to be careful. Don't make people scared of you. If too many people scared of you, then certain things start to take notice. and they start to confuse you with some mighty God that they feel obligated to slay. Now, I don't know what that is. It's just their nature. It's just their nature, man. They're not really vicious that way. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, no one kind of spurts them for acting within their nature. Isn't that what we do every day? Well, why should it be any different for them? They see something that they confuse, and that thing or that person is also confused because they see the God in that person, or the thought, I think I am above God in that person, and then bad things happen because they really believe that that's something. Anyway, it's an analogy. This will never work. One of the first things you will see, I guarantee you, is a move by them to isolate Russia in some kind of way. And I'm still trying to figure out, man, I'm going to show you how scared they had of us of Russia, man. As kids, okay? As kids, they rung a big-ass horn ever so often. And when we heard the horn, or the bells went off because of the horns, we had to get under the desk and put our head on the floor and our asses in the air. Oh boy, hey man, you know what? I guess that our asses was just gonna get burned because I mean they seem to focus on the keeping the head and the knees and legs safe. And they was gonna sacrifice the ass. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's the truth. And I never stopped to question what the Russians did. Back then they was calling them Reds. Shit, it got so bad here that they were hunting communists throughout the Congress, throughout the Senate. Man, capitalism and socialism and communism, and these guys are just involved in all these isms. Hate each other. Then they want to kill everybody in support of their particular ism. They're weird, and will continue to be weird until intervention. They're on bad dope. Really bad dope. However, back to what I was saying. New World Order, now all of a sudden it's a rule-based order. It will be the same order as the one we have. Nothing will actually change. There will be a little bit more war. Money will still rule everything, and the rich will buy out the politicians through lobbying campaigns and the financing deals. And I mean, and that's about the size of it. But while we're talking about money, I'm already done with the rule-based order thing. Man, see, here's what's funny about it. Any order that you come about that don't include me in it may as well not exist. Boom! Now, did you get that? Did you get that part? I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. I keep telling you, sooner or later, you are gonna talk to me. Take me to your leader. Sooner or later, you're going to talk to me. You will not have any order without us in it. Or there will be no order. In fact, it will be a lot of disorder. Are you crazy? Go, man, do you practice risk aversion? Because you're at risk, and you should avert it. I mean, get a Bible, read it, go to Revelation, and this is what's going to happen. In the midst of your order, that's going to be disorder. But you will continue to maintain through your governments and your structured systems some kind of order in which everybody will live in fear of you. if they don't comply. Scary stuff. I keep telling you that you're trapped somewhere between that Harvey guy and George Orwell. Somewhere along in there. You know, that James Harvey, I think, who made that speech, "If I Was the Devil," that guy and George Orwell's 1984. That's where you at right now. Some kind of strange ass mix of that. Strange ass mix. But again, just go get the book and read it. You in Revelation. Okay? So, that means Revelation has been revealed first to John and now to you. But to be trusted and better understand it, because there is a chance that I have failed. I have failed in educating you, at the very least. So, go get the book. You can borrow one from the local church, but just don't tell them that you need it to read Revelation, because they might not let you have it then. They might turn you their mind on your ass. You might be one of them ones. But back to what I was saying, in order. We're going to poo-poo that. We'll respect it, but we both know what the deal is now, don't we? And why do you insist anyway? Why do you insist on acting that? I mean, it's got to be the devil. Y'all got to be under some kind of trance, because I'm not going to accept that you're just that stupid, that the best that you can come up with is act as though he's not there. What was our plans going back 25 years? Well, that's what we're going to do. Damn. Y'all better leave that alcohol alone and them fancy girls. I don't know, man. You guys, stop acting fancy, because you're going to kill the whole world off. I'll make somebody else do it. But the point that I'm trying to make is, any order, be it rules-based, and I'm assuming that these are rules based on your individual nation states and your cultures, which varies by the culture in terms of morality and religion, which there ain't no more religion. Act like, strike the word religion, because there is no more religion. There's no more religion. Religion is over. Religion is over. The minute that we stepped foot on the scene, that was the first one to die. It laid right down, all of them, like they were supposed to do. There is this pesky set of Negroes over here that I might have to get personal with, but outside of that, the ones at the top and who got sense know the real deal when they see the real deal. But now we're dealing with a pesky group of Negroes that's always wanted to stand up against the real deal. This time they gonna get the real deal. But I'm drifting. Pardon me, I am drifting. Every time I think about without these Negroes being a part of us, we never would have been slaves. So we never would have been slaves. Okay? Now they want to blame us and God. God damn. Anyway, that's small talk at this point. That's small talk. That's just chit-chat. But this is more serious stuff. The people who rule the world believe that they are going to continue to rule it, even though God says things like, let me guess, those who said high shall be brought low, and those who said low shall be brought high. Stuff like that. But it's all over the Bible. Get yourself a Bible and sit your ass down and read it. You ain't got to believe it. Read it from an intellectual standpoint. Read it from the standpoint of nonfiction, like entertainment. At least you'll know what's gonna happen next, and rather we're gonna be ripping your ass off next or not. See? At least you'll see where you are in the lineup. Seriously. You will see exactly where you are in the lineup as far as the destruction or the peace and love and harmony. Then there's no more confusion. But the rest of mankind, especially Western culture, you just determined, ain't you? I mean, y'all gonna make me just start to talking about you bad. Bad, bad, bad. And I mean, internationally, as far as some of your leaders go, don't make me start talking about them, and you know that I've been holding back. And these are gonna hurt. These are more than just barbs. It's gonna hurt. These are gonna ignite firestorms. I don't care how liberal your culture may be. Some things are way past liberal. Some things are just way past liberal. So you need to gather yourselves. You're not going to lead the world anywhere. Okay? You're not going to lead the world anywhere. What you're going to do is try and then start Armageddon, of which I'll be a part of. And like everyone who knows me always have known about me, I move with the storms. So when the rest of you start running inside your houses because it's raining outside, well, guess what? That's when we move. It's with the storm. You'll find out that I am the storm, and that I can be quite brutal in our engagements. But before we get there, you should just do the right thing, which you're never going to do. But I'm required to tell you that you should. Requirement met. You should. Okay? Western culture has no right to feed off the rest of the planet. Western culture cannibalizes its own citizens. And not just the citizens, anything that basically it can eat. Residents, illegal aliens, migrants, citizens, it don't really give a fuck. They all taste the same. They all taste the same. So while you busy labeling each other, it got one label, universal, in big block letters. It's a meat. It don't say white meat, black meat, Mexican meat, Guatemalan meat, Honduran meat, Asian meat, Indian meat, import, export. It ain't even got a barcode. It doesn't care. So you keep busy labeling, and you keep being busy being insulted by the words out of my mouth. One more thing that I want to talk about, though, and I promise you I'm going to let you go. Or do I want to talk about this at all? Let me think a second. I need about 15 seconds here. No. But next time, people, let me tell you, there's nothing to fear but God. Nothing. Besides, these days, if you really care about what you fear, then don't fear it because you will only call shit upon it. It's like the angels. Listen, look at the dynamic at what's going on right now spiritually, which is everything. Okay? Do you think the angels have an appreciation? I'm talking about the fallen angels. Do they have an appreciation for one's worship when they know that they're a defender face the execution of a death warrant against them for the very worship that you give them? How does that help them? It does not. In fact, I think that I would be speaking on their behalf if I would tell you on their behalf that they would rather you not do that right now, because the judges are here and they're listening. And there you are, still scared and still worshiping, even though they say, man, I done told them 1,000 times, and they hear your voice and they just, I guess that's how much they hate you. I guess that's how much that they hate you. But at the dog's bark, we gonna wrap this up. Just try to hang on to the words out of my mouth. I am source, I am seven, I am one.